Sometimes I think people really don't know the benefits of having extreme faith when they're praying and asking God for things. For instance, um, sometimes we get in this habit of like wanting to pray for people and we tell people we're going to pray for them and then so we pray for them but we're like, oh God, if you could like fit it in your schedule or if you have the time, could you do this? um, and sometimes we just have like this lighthearted prayer that we just don't even really mean a lot of the time. um, but it talks about in James that, when we're praying, we should ask in faith with no doubting, because one who doubts is like the wave of the sea being driven and tossed by the wind. Um, but let him ask in faith. Like, he is supposed to ask in faith. We're supposed to ask in faith for things. We're supposed to ask God for like the big, extreme, amazing, awesome things. I figure if God can make this entire world, like all the plants and the animals, and deciding how to create mankind, like creating Adam and Eve, and like just the different aspects of each and every single animal, like from the smallest mosquito to the largest fish of the sea, I kind of have a feeling that he can really do whatever he wants to do, and he has the ability to answer prayers. He has the ability to do things that we never thought were possible. Um, I I probably wouldn't have the faith that I have in prayer if it wasn't for certain things that have happened in my lifetime. And God has a funny way of answering prayers, like a really funny way of answering prayers, I think. Um, this dates back all the way to when I was a kid, when I was a baby, actually. And I had people praying for me all over the place when I was born, because I was born with a heart defect. I had 3 holes in my septum when I was born. And so I had people praying for me all over the place. And I don't know who these people are. I don't know where they're at. But one day I get to meet these people, which is kind of cool. And, these people had extreme faith that God was going to heal me. And although he may not have healed me before the surgery and like completed my heart and made it whole before the surgery, he allowed doctors to be the tools to heal me, which was really kind of cool. Um, when my parents first moved into their first house, this was, oh my gosh, like over 15 years ago, I guess. And we got there and we didn't have a refrigerator at all. And the refrigerator at the house that they were planning to buy wasn't going to be there when we were going to move in. So my parents had prayed for a refrigerator. So what the house did have was this extra freezer downstairs. My parents were like, well, we don't need a freezer. We already have one, like this, like, oh, it's like a standing one, like really tall. Now, we don't need a freezer, we need a fridge. And so my mom started praying for a white refrigerator. Well, it came down to signing the papers and closing on the house and finding out that that freezer was not actually a white freezer, because that's what it was, a white freezer. It was actually a white refrigerator from like the 1970s. And like to open it, it had like this sidebar, so you had to like open it like this. And so my mom started praying a little bit more specifically when she was asking God for things. And that's always just like a gentle reminder that God hears our prayers, but he wants us to be specific, and he wants us to have faith. So my challenge to you is, when you're praying and you're asking God for things, is he may not answer it the way you think it ought to be answered, but he still wants us to like pray to him and go to him and say, you know what, God, this is what is going on in my life, and I'm just asking for you to take care of me in this way. And he may not really like the way you're praying, like may not like the way that you think it needs to happen, but he's going to answer it the way it's supposed to happen, and he's going to allow things to happen in your life, so you can learn from different things. So pray, like ask God, be bold, and ask him for big things. Ask him to do big things. And it can be anywhere from God, teach me to who you are and what breaks your heart, to God, supply financial needs for me and my family. God, there are things going on in my life that are just really rough right now, so I'm asking for peace and guidance. If there's decisions that you have to make, ask God to give you wisdom on those decisions. Like, be bold about it. Ask him to open the doors that need to be opened, to put people in your life to encourage you to keep going and to press forward and press on. So that's my encouragement. Pray bold, pray big, pray hard. Talk to God. That's all. Just talk.